So this right here is what led to me doing this review, right? This whole conversation. As you all can see, I even spoke to the man himself right here. I don't know where I went wrong and said that, or I threw shade at the guy, but I didn't. So I'm going to clarify that. I'm going to check out the man's album. I'm going to tell you all what I think right now. There it is. Caine, Addiction. And this is how it's going to go down.
Everybody got an addiction. Mine just happened to be this music. Caine!
What's up, everybody? It's Big Ralph TV, and I'm back with another album review. As you can see from the opener here, I had a conversation with somebody over my previous Crazy Bone Chasing the Devil album review, and the lady, I'm not sure who she is. I don't know who she is, but I guess she misunderstood what I was saying about Caine's feature on Crazy Bone's album, which, I mean, I never said he was whack. You know, I never said this guy sucks, I hate him. You know, I never said that. I just said in my previous review about about Crazy Bone's album, that Caine's feature felt a little out of place to me, and I felt like it didn't flow with the rest of the album. Not saying that it's bad at all, or not saying that this guy sucks. I'm just saying that maybe that song would have fit better elsewhere. But after I spoke with her, and I'm glad she said that. I respect that she had an opinion and she felt the way about how I interpreted his verse, because that means that somebody's watching, and it means that somebody's reading my reviews. So thank you. I don't know your name, whoever you are, lady that commented on my video and everything on Twitter. Thank you for watching. I appreciate that. And also to Caine himself, because he was brought into the conversation, and I spoke to him and I told him, hey, I will listen to your album and I will do a review on it. So that's why we're here. Anyway, the first thing I want to say about this album is called Addiction. It's by Caine. He is a affiliate of Bone Thugs-n-Harmony through Crazy Bone, and he is from Cleveland, Ohio. He is signed to Crazy Bone's The Life record label, and from what I'm to understand, this is his debut album, right? So, before I say anything else about the album, I wanted to be perfectly clear that I think that Caine definitely has skills on the mic. I've said this before. I said it before talking about his Crazy Bone feature. The guy has a great delivery. His flow is smooth. He has some nice punchlines. Everything that you know that I typically like about MCs, he follows it. Caine is pretty good at that. So I had no problem listening to it. There was nothing on this album that I just was like, man, it sucks, I'm skipping through this. Nothing. It was a solid listen all the way through. And now that that's out of the way, let's talk about the album. Again, it's called Addiction. And the overall theme of the album is basically things that, you know, we become addicted to as people, such as drugs and alcohol and material things. So Caine is speaking on those things, and he starts the album off basically saying that, you know, everybody has addictions. His happens to be music, right? So this is the direction of the album, and Caine keeps this focus going from beginning to end. Like, he doesn't lose focus on the overall theme of the album. right? And I appreciate that. I like when people have a focus in their music and this is what they're sticking to, and it's not a bunch of just, bullshit tracks thrown here and there for no reason that mean nothing. This was just a very focused record from beginning to end, and everything followed the script of what he was meaning to go with. What I did notice as I listened further into the album is that how similar it actually is to Crazy Bones Chasing the Devil album, because both of those two albums, excuse me, are about people chasing the wrong thing. Like in Crazy Bones' case, we're chasing, you know, drugs, money, material things that, instead of facing or instead of worrying about what's really going on in the world, we're worried about all these other things, and we're addicted to coming after those things, right? Whereas on Caine's album, he's talking about being addicted to these things. He's talking about being addicted to shoes, or like, I'm addicted to shoes, music and drugs and alcohol and fame and all that, like sex. He's speaking on that, and very similar albums actually, which is no problem. That's cool. I just, I happen to notice that as I listened to it a few different times. But what I'm like I said, I like the most about the album is that he's very consistent on there. He doesn't change anything. But if I had to criticize one thing about this album is that let me say two things. One thing is that it was the song. What was the song called? Out of Reach. On Out of Reach, Caine sounds a bit like Jeezy to me, and it was to the point that I had to check and see. Okay, maybe he's got Jeezy featured on this song, and there's another song or two that he kind of had. He sounds like it's Jeezy. Not saying that he sounds like a knockoff Jeezy, just sounded like Jeezy on there, and that was just a little weird to me. And then on the other thing that I would say about this is that he got outshined on the song "Gotta Eat." It features Lazy Bone and Trey the Truth, but those are two fairly big stars. You know what I mean? Like they've been doing their thing for years. Like both Lazy and Trey the Truth both get down, so shouldn't really feel bad about getting outshined on your own track by those guys. And I mean, there's other songs that he has features on where he does his thing. He holds it down. He doesn't get outshined. But on that track, Caine was like the third best verse on that song. But really, that's all. That's all that there was to it. I think it's a pretty solid album. My favorite songs are Trouble Child. Man, I like the sample. I think it's a sample. It might be somebody actually singing live, but Trouble Child goes so hard. If you're gonna listen to anything off of this album, listen to Trouble Child. Gotta Eat, that's the song with Lazy Bone and Trey the Truth. Listen to Live Fast, Die Young. That's the closing track on the album. It features Crazy Bone on it, and Swisher and Liquor. Those are some of my favorite joints on there. And usually the joke is about albums, if it has 3 to 4 good songs, it's decent. So there's 4, but most of the other songs on there are pretty good as well. So I say that Caine's album is definitely worth a listen. He said to me that he thinks I'll like it. He's pretty sure that I'll like it, in fact, when I listen to it. And he's right. It's a pretty solid listen. I can't say anything, bad about the album. I can't really trash it. Good stuff, man. Beyond that, If you want to listen to it, I listen to it on Google Play Music. It's available on iTunes and Amazon or wherever you get your streaming service from. So with that being said, it's Big Roth TV, and I'll holler at y'all in the next video. Peace.